Hey, what's up everybody? Dylan here from Iceberg TV. Today we're going to be checking out the brand new first run Zone SS from Discraft. Pretty excited about these. This is a very highly requested mold for a very long time from Discraft. So I'm excited to finally get my hands on one. Now we've got the Adam Hamez Zone. These are very stable, very puddle top. And I do have one of like the vintage circle stamp ESP zones to compare it to as well. This one's a little bit domey. I remember it being pretty stable, but I'm super curious to see which is the Zone SS more similar to, the super stable Adam Hamez or the little bit less stable but a little bit glidier domey vintage zone. Let's check it out. All right, first throws of the day, we're gonna give it a little forehand here on hole 2. We'll go vintage, then we'll go Adam Hamez, and then we'll go Zone SS. We're just gonna play the left side, really test the stability on a slight hyzer angle. Wow, the classic zone had a lot of swing back to the left at the end. A bit more stable than I was expecting. We got the Adam Hamez, nice and puddle top. That's a classic zone flight, nice and stable. Now we've got the Zone SS. I'm really curious to see if this can stay on that hyzer angle as well. Definitely feels a little bit more shallow than those other two as well. I can already see it wants to stay up in the air much longer, but stable enough to hold the hyzer. Not bad. So it was nice to see the Zone SS was stable enough to just hold a basic hyzer line. I feel like with a disc like this, that is super important. It's got to be able to hold a hyzer. All right, this hole's probably a bit too far for any of these zones for me, but it's going to be a great opportunity just to like pound a flat forehand. Really check the stability here. We'll start off with Adam Hamez. Then we're going classic zone and then new Zone SS. So you can see a normal zone getting a super fade back to the right. We also have a pretty stiff headwind here. This is the circle run. So popping up a little, but still finding some fade. Headwind really picking up. First run Zone SS. We're just gonna hammer it into this wind. Flying kind of like the circle with a little bit more turn. I hammered that pretty hard into a direct headwind. Still held up really nice, pushed a bit farther than a normal zone, but still fought back at the end. Very cool. All right, hole 5, we got another forehand opportunity here. It's about 250 feet. We're gonna go back to the same order here, Adam Hamez Classic, and then Zone SS. But we're gonna try more of a flex line now. I think I can trust the Zone SS on a small flex. Oh, off the rocks. Okay, that made it over the rocks. That Adam Hamez zone is really stable. That's what I like about that run in particular. This is the classic run. Also really stable. I actually like this shot with the Zone SS the best. I need that little bit of flip and push to get there. Yeah, see, that's so much better. Go in. That's why people wanted that disc, that shot right there. The zone can't quite get there, but the Zone SS can. Let's go. All right, next hole, we're gonna bring it up about 75 feet off the tee. We're gonna throw all the zones in the same order, give you guys a couple more backhands to go off of. Adam Hamez first. And that's what people love about the zone, is that consistent overstability. Still coming up a bit short though. Classic zone has been going a little bit farther so far today. Still plenty stable though. Man, that thing beefier than I expected. Again, another great opportunity for the Zone SS to just give us a little more push. See that flip? Wow. It's like right in between a Luna and a zone, and I love it. It's so good. All right, we've got ourselves in a nice low ceiling, straight penetrating line, and we need it to dump hard to the right at the end. Again, I think these, especially the Hamez zone, might cut in a little too early. I think normally I'd stand still from this range, so let's do some standstills. No, that's about right. This might be one of those shots where the normal zone is kind of the sweet spot. I'm curious to see how the Zone SS does on a low line. Classic zone. Yeah, that's 2 parked. Let's see. Zone SS. I love that. Goes so much farther than a zone. All right, we got a nice open, one of the few open field shots at Hornet's Nest here. It's 750 foot par 5. We're just gonna throw these out on a little bit of flex and see how they perform on the backhand flex. We've been throwing a lot of forehands so far. That's Adam James. I love that run. It's just so stable. It's a zone that you can really just count on to fade back. That was not good. There's like a massive amount of difference in flight characteristics between the Adam James and the Zone SS. So straight, but still has that swing. I love that it's got that little bit of right back at the end. It really nailed it. All right, it's gonna be our last shot of the day. I really love this tunnel shot coming into the green here. And again, I just feel like the Zone SS is perfect for these little straight shots. Kind of have to force the zone to keep it flat. And, you know, that was a decent shot, but I feel like the Zone SS is going to be able to hang in there a little easier. A little skip off the pole. Really curious to see if it goes too far on a shot like this. Yeah, it's just so nice. I'll be surprised if we don't see a lot of the Discraft Touring pros throwing the Zone SS on tour. It's a really good disc, and I had a really fun time throwing it today. All right, guys, zones versus Zone SS. This can go right alongside your zones. It's gonna satisfy that beat up, straighter zone that you love. I think a lot of the touring pros are going to be throwing these. It just so perfectly sits right between the Luna and the zone. I'm really happy with how this is flying, and I would highly recommend you check out one of the first runs. Discraft is notorious when they come out with the first runs, they tend to be a little bit more stable than the runs that come after. At least that's been my experience with first run Discraft molds. I always love the first run, and then you never quite know how the next runs are gonna come out. If you wanna save 10% on any discs you saw in today's video, discgolfdealsusa.com/icebergtv. Use my link in the description below to guarantee yourself 10% off. All orders over $50 ship for free. Don't forget to check out bergsdiscsports.com. Use the code ICE20 at checkout to save 20% on the V4, the #1 disc golf bag on the market. Zone SS, go check it out. Disc Golf Deals USA, link in the description below for 10% off. Stay humble, live with gratitude. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video, and take care.